Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Today, we'll talk about Kamma. What is Kamma? Actually, this one we have learned previous week. A very famous line when we are talking about Kamma. It is violation bhikkhus that are called Kamma. Not every action is called Kamma. I think that is very important, right? The violation or motivation behind our actions, right? So sometimes we might kill sentient beings without intention, right? By accident. So it's not called Kamma, right? It's not called Kamma because you don't have any violation or motivation to kill those and sentient beings, right? So I think that is very important for having will. One acts by body, speech, or mind, right? So in other words, we can say that we have three types of Kamma: bodily Kamma, verbal Kamma, and mental Kamma, right? So actually we have already learned Nibbedika Sutta from Anguttara Nikaya. So what is Kamma? The word Kamma literally means action or deed. Okay. Action or deed, right? So here, Kamma literally means action or deed or work, right? So normally, the one who do something is called Kammakari, worker, right? Kammakari, worker. So Kamma here means action or deed, right? So the accurate Buddhist definition of Kamma is the violation, chetana, behind our actions, right? We have bodily action, verbal action, and mental actions. So there is a violation or motivation behind those actions, right? So that is called Buddhist definition of Kamma, right? Buddhist definition of Kamma. So I think it is important to know this one because some religions, so they said that every action is called Kamma, right? And some religions, they do not like to hear the word Kamma. So in Myanmar, so if somebody get married with the follower of the religions, a particular religions, so I heard that they do not like the word Kamma. They are afraid because the reason is we always say that we are owner of our own Kamma, right? But they don't believe, right? They believe that so we are owner, they are owner of the God. So the God create everything, right? So when somebody say Kamma, 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 they do not like it, right? They are afraid to hear such a one. Because it's, I think, very logical, right? So as a Buddhist, we are owner of our own Kamma. It's very, so if you are working in a company, if you do not work well, right? If you cannot perform your duty, you will be fired, right? You are owner of your own Kamma, right? It's very accurate. Basically, 10 unwholesome Kamma, we call it akusala, right? And also 10 wholesome Kamma, we call it kusala Kamma. So these are called Kamma, basically, right? Actually, we have learned 10 unwholesome Kamma, right? Just like a killing, taking what is not given, right? So all these are called 10 unwholesome Kamma. But refraining from them is called 10 wholesome Kamma, right? Basically, so these are called Kamma. So for that reason, we have a wholesome Kamma, unwholesome Kamma, right? Next level, advanced level, any form of volitional actions done with the ignorance, avijja, and craving, tanha, are called Kamma. According to dependent origination, it's a higher level, right? It's a higher level. So according to dependent originations, if you do something with your body originated from ignorance and craving, so that is called kamma, right? So that is the more accurate. So actually this is a precise definition of kamma in Buddhism, right? It's a higher level. So if you want to attain Nibbana, you have to stop all these kamma. So that means you do something, wherever you do, without ignorance and without craving, right? So the opposite of ignorance is wisdom. The opposite of craving, it can be non-greed and non-hatred, right? Non-greed and non-hatred. So if you are doing the wisdom, non-greed, in other words, renunciation or letting go, right? Non-hatred, compassion or loving kindness. So if you are doing such mental state, then you can stop your karma, then you can attain Nibbana, right? So actually, according to dependent originations, any form of volitional actions, volitional activities, right? Whether you're walking, whether you are doing with your body, whether you are speaking, whether you are thinking, right? So if you are performing those activities without ignorance, without craving, right? In other words, you are doing something with the wisdom, mindfulness, loving kindness, compassion, or renunciation, letting go, right? So these are called, you are stopping the karma, right? Normally, ordinary Buddhists, you are creating positive karma, right? Ordinary Buddhist. So we are creating a positive karma. But for advanced Buddhists, so they are not creating any karma, right? They are trying to break through the karma. So then only you can attain Nibbana, right? You see, Nibbana, without karma, you cannot attain Nibbana, right? So that is a two level of definition of karma, right? Basically, we have a wholesome karma, unwholesome karma, right? Then if we are talking about definition of karma dependent on dependent originations, based on dependent originations, any form of activities, any form of actions that you do with the ignorance and craving. So that is called karma, right? That's all karma. So I think when we are learning dependent originations, I will highlight again, right? I will highlight again. So up to here, any question? Okay. Please use microphone.
Thank you. What about when you talk about volitional action? Okay, let's say ignorance. But is there such a thing as doing ignorance with intention?
Ignorant with the
intention. Let's say your intention to harm somebody. Is that considered karma?
Yeah, of course, yes.
So that means your action is ignorant but with intention.
Actually, we have to know the definition of avijja. Avijja means not knowing. Actually, we use English word ignorance.
Okay.
Actually, it's not. It will not cover the real definition of avijja. So I think if we understand that the real definition of avijja, I think your question will be clear. So here, avijja means not knowing, right? Four Noble Truth, right? This is a higher level. Not knowing unwholesome things as the unwholesome, right? Normally we do unwholesome things because we do not know. We do not know that is unwholesome, right? But there is a time that you know, right? Dosa is not good. That is wisdom.
Okay, so that means
by that time there's no ignorance, right?
But the thing is, if you intend to hurt somebody, that means you are ignorant about the price you have to pay for this intention.
Yeah, of course. You do not know. You perform, you harm other people The reason is you do not know that by that time, you do not know that harming is not good. So we do it ignorant. It's very, how to say, very
Yeah,
subtle.
I know it's
subtle.
like a kind of a gray area. That's why
Yeah.
I want to know what is there any difference between ignorant, okay, you do something that's ignorant, but with this intention to hurt, not knowing that it is something wrong.
Yeah, of course. That is
Got it.
ignorance. That is
Got it.
ignorance.
Thank you.
I think that is very subtle one. So when we learn, actually I have taught many times, I think here, moha or ignorance also different level, right? So basic level, normally we do not, sometimes people do not know unwholesome thing as a unwholesome, right? So some people are killing, right, in the battlefield. So some people are killing their enemy, thinking that killing their enemy is just justifiable, right? It's not a, it's all right to kill our enemy, right? Like this. But actually, it is out of ignorance, right? Out of ignorance. Actually, when we learn dependent origination, we come back again. We're taught again, right? So here, ignorant means not knowing, right? Don't think about English meaning, right? So if you think about based on English meaning, right, and then it will get wrong. So I think we have to understand the definition of ignorance. So then only we will have a better understanding, clear understanding, right? And also regarding with the craving, don't think based on the English translation, right? So for that reason, we need to know what is definition of craving, tanha, right? So I think next year we will define, right? What is a craving? What is the ignorance? Okay, so that is karma. I think is clear, right? Two level of definition of karma. Two step, right? Wholesome and unwholesome action is called karma. Actually, it's not an action, the volition or motivation behind our actions, right? That is called karma. Another definition is any form of our volitional activities, right? Our activities, our actions, motivated by ignorance and craving is called karma, right? The result of karma. So the result of karma is so complex that the Buddha mentioned it as one of the four inconceivable matters in Achindeya Sutta. So actually I have shared that Sutta, right? Achindeya Sutta in Gauta Nikaya, chapter 4, Sutta number 77, right? So one of the inconceivable matters. So the Buddha used the word inconceivable, achindeya, shouldn't conceive or shouldn't think. The reason is it is so complex, right? So to understand the complex nature of the result of karma, here the result of karma means karma vipaka. For those who are learning Abhidhamma, vipaka, right? Resultant cheda. So the result of karma is very complex, right? So we have to consider so many dimensions or so many facets, right? So many facets. So the reason why the Buddha used achinteya, right? In Gauta Nikaya, page number 463, right? 463. So actually the Buddha talked about 4 inconceivable matters. So the first one is the domain of the Buddhas, right? The domain of the Buddha, especially the quality of the Buddha, right? So the Buddha have so much quality, right? If you are thinking the domain of the Buddha, you will go crazy. So the Sutta said that bhikkhus, so there are these 4 inconceivable matters that one should not try to conceive. One who tries to conceive them will reap either madness or frustrations, right? So you will reap madness, right? So you will go crazy, and also you will be frustrated. So actually, it doesn't mean that you don't have to think. It doesn't mean that you don't have to conceive, right? So the Buddha just want to highlight, so these are very complex issues, right? Very complex matters. So if you are thinking, you will be irritated, frustrated, right? So they actually, as we all know, that the Buddha had so much qualities, right? So we cannot think with our how to say, small mind. So the quality of the Buddha is beyond our knowledge, right? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't think. But we have to think. But when we are thinking, when we are talking about the quality of the Buddha, so I think so complex, right? So so many things are beyond our understanding, our knowledge, right? For that reason, this is one of the inconceivable matters, right? And second one is the domain of the one in jhana. So as you all know that we have 4 types of jhana, right? According to Abhidhamma, 5 types of jhana. For those who are meditating, for those who attain jhana, their domain is so complex that very difficult to understand, right? Just like for those who attain 4 jhana, they are not breathing. Their breathing stop, right? So if you are thinking based on our own understanding, according to science, right? For those who are not breathing, they will die, right? They die, according to scientific definition, right? If you do not breathe, you die. But for those who attain 4 jhana, right? 4 jhana, not dying, right? So actually, you don't need breathing. You don't need to breathe, right? So the reason is you are not consuming energy, right? So you use a less energy that you don't need to breathe, right? You don't need to breathe in and breathing out. So this is inconceivable, right? So this is beyond our knowledge. For that reason, the domain of the one, the meditator who attain jhana, right? Who attain jhana. For those who attain jhana, they can sit down for 24 hours. People will, right? People might think that it's impossible to sit 24 hours, right? 7 days, right? If you are Deva, if you are Brahma, millions and billions of years, right? It's inconceivable, right? For that reason, if we are thinking about the domain of the one in jhana, right? So another one. And third one is the result of Kamma. So that is what we are learning now, right? The result of Kamma. It is so complex, right? So I think if we are learning, if we learn 2 or 3 suttas, you will understand, right? The complexity of the result of Kamma. Actually, the Kamma is very easy, but what we are talking about is the result of Kamma, right? In one of the sutta, the Buddha said that some people do a lot of hours and deed, right? But they go to heaven. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 136, right? Maha Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, right? Maha Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. So the whole life, actually they are doing a lot of hours and deed, but they go to heaven. Many people, some people, they do a lot of good deed, but they go to hell, like this, right? Very complex, right? So what the Buddha said is we have to consider a lot of dimensions, right? So I think anyway, so here doesn't mean that we don't have to think or we don't have to conceive, right? So here what the Buddha want to highlight is the result of the karma is so complex, right? That we have to look at, right? So we have to look at so many dimensions, right? Another one is speculation about the world, right? Speculation about the world. Actually, the commentary said that if you are thinking about who made the moon, right? Who made the sun, right? So these are very so complex, right? But anyway, scientists nowadays, right? So they speculate and they think about how the moon is formed like this, right? How the universe is, the form, right? Began like this. So very so complex that normal people cannot think, right? Cannot think. 3 years ago, I learned about the universe, how universe began, how we calculate light years like this with one of the Burmese guy. So complex that I stopped. I stopped learning about the universe, right? Cosmologies. So I learned with the Burmese. He's very, of course, he explained a lot and based on a lot of dimensions, how to calculate one galaxy to another galaxy like this, right? So complex, right? That I stopped learning. So anyway, I'm interested in cosmology. I think it's interesting. But here, the Buddha is not talking not to think about cosmology, but it's so complex, right? So complex. So when you read the suttas, so what the Buddha talked about the sun, the moon, Mount Meru, right? Mount Sineru. So actually, the Buddha did not want to talk about them, but just want to highlight even the moon, even the sun, even the oceans, even the great mountains. So they were burned into ashes one day, right? So you want to highlight the impermanent nature of those materialities, material phenomena, right? Our body, very small compared to the great mountains, right? Our body is very small compared to our planet. So the Buddha want to highlight impermanent nature, right, of them. So the Buddha intention is not to talk about them, right? But anyway, what we find, the information about cosmologies in Pali Canon is very relevant. Most of them are relevant nowadays, right? Nowadays. For those who are interested Buddhist cosmology, you can listen Buddhist cosmology taught by Ajahn Brahmali. He made 2 or 3 predictions, right? In the future, like this, right? So anyway, here the result of karma is so complex that the Buddha mentioned as one of the 4 inconceivable matters, right? So that means so difficult to think, right? So we have to look at based on so many dimensions, right? So many dimensions. regarding with the result of Kamma, so Chula Kamma Vibhanga Soda is very important. So normally when we are talking about the result of Kamma, we quote Chula Vibhanga Soda, Chula Kamma Vibhanga Soda, Majjhima Nikaya, Soda number 135. Majjhima Nikaya, Soda number 136 is another Vibhanga Soda, Kamma Vibhanga Soda is called Maha Kamma Vibhanga Soda. Two soda to talk about. Actually, I forgot to share those sodas, right? So the result of Kamma and how it works. So I mentioned in that soda. So in that soda, a young boy called Suba asked so many questions to the Buddha regarding with the Kamma, and the Buddha answered all these questions. So actually I didn't send this soda, but I will just explain a little bit, right? A little bit. So Suba asks why people are inferior and why some people are superior. Why some people are short-lived and long-lived, right? Some are beautiful, some are ugly, right? So he asked. The Buddha gave all these answers. Very interesting, right? So if you read this soda, you will understand Buddhist, the Buddhist teachings on the result of Kamma, right? The result of Kamma. Actually, these are not very difficult. So actually, we have learned very often. Master Gautama, what is the cause and condition why human beings are seen to be inferior and superior? Some are short-lived and long-lived, sickly and healthy. Some are healthy, some are sickly. Some are ugly, some are beautiful. Some are influential and some are not influential. Some are poor and some are wealthy. Some are low-born, some are high-born. Some are stupid, some are wise, right? So these are the questions. So the Buddha gave the answer one by one. So people are short-lived. The reason is they are killing sentient beings, right? They are killing sentient beings. So after killing sentient beings, they go to awful destinations. So when they were born in the human realm, so they have a short life, right? Short-lived. They're short-lived. So they die when they are very young because of killing. And people are long-lived, right? Long life. The reason is they refrain from killing, right? They refrain from killing. Maybe they practice compassion toward all sentient beings, right? Empathy, right? Sympathy toward all living beings. So for that reason, they are long life. So some people are healthy. The reason is they are not injuring sentient beings. They are not beating. They are not harming, right? They are not harming. For that reason, so they are healthy. The Buddha said that for those who are injuring living beings with the hand, with the cloth, with the stick, with the knife, and they are sickly, right? They are not healthy. The reason is in previous life, right? So they are injuring, they are harming living beings. Some people are beautiful. The reason is they don't have anger toward living beings, right? So that means if you are ugly, that means you have anger toward all living beings. earlier, right? Not right. But of course, if you show your anger right now, you will be ugly in future. So anger is the root of ugliness or beauty, right? Beauty. It's very logical, right? It's very logical. Some are influential and some are not influential. So the Buddha said that the reason is some people have a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy. So when they see somebody have gain, honor, respect, reverence, salutation, and veneration, right? So they have a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy. For that reason, so they are not influential, right? For those who want to become influential person in the society, try not to have jealousy and envy, right? Jealousy and envy. So that is the cause, right? Some are poor, some are rich. You are poor, the reason is you do not give. So you are rich, the reason is you gave in previous life, right? Previous life. So that is also poverty and richness, right? Some are low born, some are high born. So you are low born, the reason is in earlier life, you are so arrogant, right? A lot of conceit. And you look down on other people, right? For that reason, low born in this life. You do not have arrogance, you do not have conceit, and you do not look down on other people. For that reason, in this life, you are high born, right? High born. So these are, how to say, the how Kamma walk, right? How Kamma walk. But here, some are stupid, some are wise. So the Buddha said that for those who do not visit a recluse and Brahmin and ask the questions, right? For those who do not ask questions, so they are stupid, right? For those who ask questions, wise. We have a one wise woman here. Normally, I encourage to ask questions, right? So I'm happy that we have a lot of wise people here. So these so I think if you learn this soda, we will understand, right? The result of Kamma. So they are relevant, right? They are relevant. Suppose, so if you are always angry, right? You are not beautiful in the eyes of other people, right? If you don't have any anger, you have a lot of compassion and loving kindness, right? Love to other people, right? Even though you are ugly, so they will see it beautiful, right? They will see it handsome. So that is very relevant, right? So we have to understand in that way, right? In that way. So I think that is very important soda regarding with the result of Kamma. So in this soda, the Buddha said that being an owner of their karmas, that is very famous one, right? Very famous one. Beings are owner of their karmas, karma saka sata, right? So we are owner of our own karma. If you're good, a good result will come, right? So that's you are owner of that karma, right? If you are not good, right? If you are not good, and you will have a bad result, right? Because you are owner of your own karma. So as a Buddhist, so this is one of the beauty of Buddhism, I will say that, right? It can be easily understand, right? Easily understood. Heir of their karma, beings are heir of their karma, right? They have karma at their origins, right? So we are here because of our karma. We are there because of your karma, right? Because of their karma, like this. Actually here, the Buddha used so many words, right? So many synonyms. So the reason is he want to highlight, right, the importance of karma and the importance of the result of karma. Karma and their relatives. Karma is your relative, right? Karma at their result, right? Result. So these are the synonym of the ownership for karma, right? Ownership for karma. It is karma that distinguish beings, right? As inferior or superior. So if you are superior, because of your karma. If you are inferior, because of your karma, right? Actually, it's quite significant, right? So many Buddhist scholars, they point out that many people think that Buddhism borrow theory of karma from Hinduism, but it's not so, right? It's not so. But of course, they have their the word karma in early Vedic scriptures, but the definition of karma is not the same as right now. They borrow theory of karma from Buddhism, right? It's quite opposite. For those who want to know, you can listen the seminar about karma, early Buddhist teachings on the karma. Actually, sorry, I do not remember the actual title or the Dhamma talks. Actually, series of Dhamma talks by Bhante Sujado and Bhante Ajahn Brahmali, right? Ajahn Brahmali and also another scholars. So they make similar and they talk about the history of karma and also the sources of karma, right? And definition of karma is very interesting. That you can Google the karma Ajahn Sujado or Ajahn Brahmali. So if you just Google online, so you will see it, right? Very interesting. It's series of Dhamma talks. Not Dhamma talk, it's seminar, right? Seminar, lectures. So here, what I want to highlight is the Buddha himself realized the nature of karma and the result of karma, right? So when we learn three knowledge of the Buddha before he became, because of that, he became the Buddha, right? Number one is Pobe Nivasa no Sati Jnana, the recollection of previous life, right? He trying to recollect, he trying to remember, he trying to understand previous life, right? Another one is Debachak, understanding and seeing the life of other beings, right? For that reason, how they became inferior and superior, how they became poor and rich, how they became beautiful and ugly, right? And how they go to hell and how they go to heaven, right? So the Buddha know clearly. So the second jnana, right? Based on those understanding, knowledge, so the Buddha understands Four Noble Truths, right? Here, and then the Buddha himself realized the nature of karma and also the result of karma, right? For that reason, theory of karma is not borrowed from other religions. The Buddha himself realized and the Buddha himself make known to the people, right? It's very important, very important. And then people might think that Buddhism also talk about karma, Jainism also talk about karma, Hinduism also talk about karma. Not the same, right? Not the same. Regarding with the Jainism, Actually, they say that every action is called karma, whether you have intention or without intention, right? So if you care, so you are committing karma, right? Ahosan karma. Buddhism, if you don't have any motivation or volition, it's not karma, right? It's not karma. But regarding with the Hinduism, if you were born as a outcast, right? You cannot be promoted. You have to live in according with their caste system, right? You cannot become Brahmin, right? Even though they believe karma, they don't believe, right? How to say that we are owner of our own karma. We can be anything, right? We can be anything. But in the case of Buddhism, if you want, even you can become the Buddha, right? You yourself can become the Buddha. Quite significant, right? Quite significant. If you want to be a Brahma or Devas, you can be, right? You can be. If you want to become a rich person, you are owner of your own karma, right? You are owner of your own karma. Even you do not become a rich person in this life, there is life, right? So we have an expectation, right? So we are owner of our own karma. So different, right? Different. Actually, this one is very famous. Kamma Sate Vipajati. Actually, I write Pali. The reason is I just want to explain, right? So these are very important. Kamma Sate Vipajati. So karma distinguish the people, right? Some are beautiful, some are ugly, some are rich, some are poor because of their karma, right? Because of their karma. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 136, right? It's also Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, analysis of karma, right? So, and in that Sutta, the Buddha said that some people, they do good deed, right? But they go to hell. So actually, so in that Sutta, maybe we can find the importance of the last stop movement, right? The last stop movement. Sometimes people do unwholesome deed. They go to heaven, right? They go to heaven because of the last stop movement, right? Not actually the last stop movement. So the Buddha said that even though some people do a lot of unwholesome deed, right? But they have wholesome deed in their life. They have done wholesome deed in their life. So when they are dying, and they take it, right, as their object, right? The object of the mind, right? Object of the mind. So what the Buddha want to say is the result of karma is so complex, right? So we have to think a lot of criteria, a lot of dimensions. So one of them is called lamp of salt or Lona Phala Sutta. Lona Phala Sutta. So actually we will learn this Sutta in Gauttama Nikaya chapter 3, Sutta number 100. Lona Phala Sutta tells us two important points with regard to the result of karma, right? Two important points. Actually, we are not discussing all the Sutta, just only 2 points, right? Just only 2 points. Then I hope that you have already read the Sutta. I believe. Number 1, a person need not experience the result of karma in precisely the same way that he created it. That's an important concept. Normally, we think that if you kill a person, you will be killed, right? That is a wrong concept, right? It might be, of course, if you kill, you might be killed. It might be, but we cannot say for sure, right? If you say, it is a wrong view regarding with the karma. Of course, if you kill, you are likely to be killed, right? If you kill the member of other family member, right? So they will take revenge, right? You are likely to be killed. But if you think that if you kill, you'll be killed. If you steal, you'll be stolen, right? Your property will be stolen like this. So if you are thinking like this is one of the wrong views, right? One of the wrong view. So here, what the Buddha wants to say is a person experiences the karma that is to be experienced in a particular way. It's very complicated, right? I will explain. He experiences its result precisely in that way. But here, in a particular way, right? In a particular way. So if you are doing wholesome deed, normally it will yield a pleasant result, right? Pleasant result. That is the result of your karma, right? If you are doing dharana, so the moment you are doing dharana, pleasant, right? Pleasant. If you are keeping precept, pleasant, right? Not the way you do, but the way you experience, right? The way you feel it, right? The way you feel it. If you are doing unwholesome things, right? Unpleasant, painful, right? Painful. Just like that, you will have a painful feeling. So here, in a particular way, right? In a particular way. If you care, very painful for other people, right? You will have such a painful experience. Such a painful experience. So the reason why the Buddha taught this one is that, so we have a very famous story in Dhammapada commentaries. One goat was killed, right? As a result of killing a goat, a Brahmin was killed for 500 years, 500 life, right? 500 lifetime. So that is a very famous story used by Theravada, Mahayana, Tibetan monks, right? So if we are thinking in that way, it is a wrong view. Actually, we cannot say for sure, right? For sure. Just like a theory of Dalai Lama, right? If a Dalai Lama died, so he became a new Dalai Lama, right? That also is not a wrong perspective regarding with the karma, right? We cannot say for sure, right? He might be reborn as a young Dalai Lama, but we cannot say for sure, right? We cannot say for sure. The same thing, right? The same thing. But here, depends on feeling, right? Depends on feeling. So if you are doing unwholesome things, painful feeling, right? Painful feeling. But of course, the one who was committed, right? Painful feeling. So you will also have such a painful feeling. So that doesn't mean that you care, you'll be killed. It doesn't mean like this, right? Even though you care, you will not be killed. Just like Venerable Angulimala, he killed thousands of people, right? But he is not killed, but he experienced a painful feeling. Some people throw the stone, the stick, right? Bleeding, right? Bleeding. Painful feeling. Even though he became arahant, still have a painful feeling, right? Just like that. So we shouldn't think that if you kill, you'll be killed, right? If you steal, your property will be stolen like this, right? It's not correct. So for that reason, it's very complex, right? Very complex. Another one is some people has created a trifling karma little bit of karma, but it is more than enough for them to go to heaven, also to go to hell, right? To go to hell. A little bit of karma, because of that karma, they go to hell, right? So the reason is they do not have much meritorious deeds, right? If you have a lot of meritorious deeds, some people have created exactly the same tripling karma, yet they do not go to hell, but they have to experience, right? So they have to experience in this very life. So there is no slighted residue for next lives, right? So they have to experience in this life, but no remaining, right? Residual karma for successive life, right? Next lives. The reason is they have done a lot of meritorious deeds, right? For those who have a lot of meritorious deeds, even though you do the same amount of karma, right? Little bit of karma, the same as previous one. So you will not go to hell, right? You will not go to hell. But you have to experience that karma in this very life, but there is no remaining result of that karma, right? The reason is based on our own meritorious deed, right? Dana, Sila, Bhavana, right? Dana, Sila, Bhavana. For that reason, this Sutta is very famous for that. So this is what the Buddha taught in the Sutta. Here, bhikkhus, some person has created traveling back karma, yet it leads into hell. Why some other person here has created exactly the same amount of karma, yet it is to be experienced in this very life without even a slight residue being seen, much less abundant residues, right? I think that is very important. I think if you, normally we have learned a lot this Sutta. The Buddha gave a very famous simile. A lamp of salt, right? If you put it on the glass, right? Glass of water, you cannot drink the water. So the reason is very salty, right? Salty. Water signifying good deed. Salt signifying unwholesome deed, right? Actually, even though you put a small amount of salt into the glass of water and drink a bit, right? You cannot drink. So here, another example is we have Ganges River, right? Ganges River. Then if you put the same amount of salt, right, into the river, so the water will not be affected. You can still drink it, right? The water in the river signifying good deed. If you have a lot of good deed, sometimes you may do unwholesome action, some unwholesome deed. It will not affect much, right? For that reason, it is important to do a lot of wholesome deed, right? A lot of meritorious deed. If you have a lot of meritorious deed, unwholesome actions will not make much different, right? Much different. That is a very important simile of the Buddha. Lamp of salt, right? Lamp of salt. So regarding with the karma, some people worry about their unwholesome actions. Don't worry from now on, right? Trying to increase, right? The amount of meritorious deed. So in this way, you can dilute, right? You can reduce the residual unwholesome karma, right? So I think this Sutta is very famous for that, right? Simile of salt. Any question? No question? Okay, very clear. Another Sutta is sectarian-ness, Daittayatana, right? Daittayatana. three Satiriyantines. So this one also talk about important, some of the wrong views regarding with the result of Kamma, right? The result of Kamma. So actually I take it from Astamika book, A Guide to Buddhism A to Z, right? A Guide to Buddhism A to Z. For those who want to become a teacher, who want to be a teacher, you should read this book. So there are a lot of information, right? A lot of information with the reference. A very good book. Three Satiriyantines. Before we learn that sutta, actually, let's go to that sutta. Daittayatana Sutta, Satirian Sutta. On page number 266. 266. Chapter 3, Sutta number 61. Actually, we will learn this Sutta when we are next year. Don't throw away. We will learn regarding with the dependent origination. This is a very important Sutta. Very important one, right? Very important one. So this is the link between dependent originations and Four Noble Truths, right? So normally we understand dependent origination and Four Noble Truths in a separate way, right? But this sutta is very particular, very important to understand, right? The link between dependent origination and Four Noble Truths. So here the Buddha said that bhikkhus, so there are the three Satirian tenets. So religious leader from other religions, right? They are teaching, which when questioned, interrogated, and cross-questioned by the wise, and taken to their conclusion, were eventuate in non-doing. So here, where eventuate in non-doing means it doesn't work, right? So there are Satirian teachings. So when they are cross-questioned, so their teachings doesn't work, right? Doesn't work. So there are three, right? Then I will use this one as Tamika. And he said that determinism, niyatawada, determinism, is the belief that an individual destiny is fixed, right? Our destiny, our karma is fixed. And that he or she must act accordingly, right? So, accordingly. And the Buddha said there are two types of determinism. So that means if you have the result of karma, you cannot change it, right? It already fixed, right, in your life. So the Buddha said there are two types of determinism. So these two are mentioned in Satirian Sutta, right? Daittayatana Sutta. So the first one is karmic determinism. Pope kata hetu. Everything we experience, pleasant, painful, or neutral, is due to our past karma. That is how we have acted in the past. This one also one of the wrong view. Normally, as a Buddhist, we normally think that is because of my past karma, I cannot do anything. That's also wrong view, right? If you think only one dimension, right? So that is because of my past karma. I am ugly because of my past karma. So you cannot think, right? Only one particular reason. So I'm poor because of my past karma. You cannot think. You cannot pinpoint just only one particular cause, right? particular cause. So that is called karmic determinism. So that means some people believe that you cannot change it. It fixed, right? It already fixed. Because of that became, right? Whether you experience pleasant, painful, or neutral, right? Due to our own past karma. Suppose you're fired, right? You lost your job, but you think that this is my past karma, right? Because of my past karma. If you're thinking like this, it's a wrong view, right? It's a wrong view. It's not. Of course, it can be past karma is a part of losing your job, but there are many facets and many conditions, right? So we have to think regarding with the result of karma. So you lost your job not just because of past karma, present karma as well, right? Present karma play an important role. So if you are just thinking, it is just because of my past karma, right? It is called karmic determinism, right? Another one is theistic determinism. God knows and controls everything. So that God has determined everything before it has happened. You cannot do anything because of God, right? God created it. You cannot change it. It's already fixed, right? You cannot change it. If you are thinking like this, it's also one of the wrong view. In Pali, it's called Aisara Nimana Hetu. The Sutta mentioned precisely, right? The Sutta mentioned the same way. Because of the Creator God, right? So you lost your job because of the God, right? The will of the God. Like this, right? Like this. So you became poor because of the will of the God. You became rich, the will of the God, right? If you are thinking like this, it's one of the determinism, right? Theistic determinism. Esta nimana hetu. That's also one of the wrong view regarding with the result of karma, right? Not only the God, actually not only the Creator God, we Buddhists also believe that it happened because of the God and Goddesses, right? God and Goddesses. You pray God and Goddesses, because of that you got a job, right? You got a job, and because of that you are healthy, like this, right? If you are thinking like this, there's also wrong view here, right? Aisara nimana hetu. Don't forget that we are owner of our own karma, right? We are owner of our own karma. You are healthy because of your karma. You are sick because of your karma, right? You lost your job because of your karma. It's very important to understand this way, right? According to Buddha, both these ideas are not just false, but also pernicious and dangerous, right? It's dangerous, really dangerous, right? So that is called two types of determinism, right? But here, determinism means that the individual cannot choose one course of action over another, right? You think that you cannot change your destiny. You cannot change your karma. If you are thinking like this, it's a wrong view, right? We can change it, right? We are owner of our own karma. Cannot make an effort to change anything. It's not responsible for anything he or she does, right? It's because of past karma or because of God's will, right? God created in that way, right? God created in that way. Normally, people, so when we are in a possession, right? A great loss or a great achievement, right? We lost our confidence to ourselves, right? We tributed, to the unseen beings, right? Creator God. Normally, scientists, they do not believe Creator God. But when something happens, a very big, just like a launching all the aircraft, what they call it, spacecraft, right? So when they are launching spacecraft, they pray to the God, right? They don't believe the God. But what they are doing is so big that, right? They lost their confidence to their action, right? For that reason, they pray, right? They pray. If you believe if you believe the karma, right? You don't need to do anything, right? Just do it. Everything depends on your own, right? Your own action. Such a belief can only lead to irresponsibility. That is because of my past karma, right? The first one, the first wrongdoing. Don't blame me. It is the will of God, right? God created in that way, right? So it's the irresponsibility. Another one is inactivity, right? Not active. What can I do? It is my past karma. What can I do? It is my past karma, right? So actually, it's not active, right? You are not doing anything at all. Don't blame me. It is the will of God, right? Actually, it's very clear in the big Astamika. Talk about it. Two types of determination, right? Karma determination and theistic determination. But next one, in the Satyrian Sutta talk about is ahetuka apachaya, non-causality, right? Everything happens without a cause and conditions. It happens by chance, right? It happens without any cause and conditions, right? So this doctrine is as well ascribed to Maggali Kosala. Maggali Kosala is one of the famous religious leader at the time of the Buddha, right? And he have this one, non-causality, right? Non-causality. It happened, right? By chance, right? It happened randomly. There's no cause and conditions, right? So these are three types of wrong views regarding with the result of karma, right? Result of karma. As a Buddhist, we normally believe the result of past karma, but of course we have to believe it. But if you just think that cause just because of purely past karma, that is also wrong view, right? That's also wrong view. So there are many conditions and causes, right? So we have to understand that way. Question? No question? Any question? Okay. Sorry? Sorry?
I felt that the thoughts is very negative. Whether or not if you think that this is your past karma or whatever happened to you, if you think that it's all the time you think that it's your karma, it's very negative. The thoughts is very negative.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat the question?
I mean, how do we judge whether something arises is due to our karma? How do we judge? How do we judge?
Or judge?
Yeah, how do we judge? But if you keep thinking that, oh, this is my karma, because of this, I become like this, this is my karma, I become like that, or something happened to me because of my karma, then it carries forward a very negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Which is unhealthy. We should be carrying a very positive thoughts all the time, regardless of whatever happened to us. Don't always relate whatever happened to us to karma. Because if you keep relating to karma, then you will not put in effort to change yourself. It means your views, right, you will keep on thinking, oh, because of my karma, that's why this happened to me. And then you will not put in effort to change your lifestyle or to realize your own mistake. To move forward, what I'm trying to say is, because I felt that since I came in and hearing all the talks about karma, I felt it's very negative. It gives me a very negative
Very
impression.
negative.
Yes.
So here, actually, if we just think it is just because of our past karma, it's not complete, right? It's not wrong, but not complete. So what we have to, what I'm emphasizing is so we have to look at different different dimensions, a lot of dimensions to understand the result of karma. So here, actually, what I mean emphasizing is what is karma, right? So actually, I have taught different two level of definition of karma, but to understand the result of karma, the result or the karma is very complicated. The Buddha himself said that this is one of the four inconceivable matters, right? But here, of course, what I've been talking is the wrong view regarding with the result of karma, not the right view, right? Not the right view. Actually, here I don't have much time to talk about karma. So I have only 2 more weeks. For that reason, what I've been talking is not complete. But of course, as you said that, if we just think that is because of our past karma, it will be it will become inactivity, right? So actually, of course, it's a negative, not good. So we believe our action, right? Not only past one, but also current one, right? So that is just believing just purely past karma. It's not right, not complete, right? Not complete. So we have to understand, we have to believe our action at this moment as well, right? Yeah, any question?
I mean, if you... no, I have no question, sorry. Thank you for explaining.
Huh?
No question, thank you for explaining.
Okay. Actually, of course, my explanation about the karma is not very complete, But if you just understand 10 unwholesome actions, right? 10 unwholesome actions, so I think you have a better understanding about the karma, right? And also the opposite of 10 unwholesome actions, positive action, right? Wholesome action.
One thing.
Okay.
Can I take it that what you are teaching is that we have done something in the past? What you are saying is that
Can
it
you-
doesn't
can
mean
you
that, sorry, can I hear?
Yeah.
My understanding is you have done something wrong in the past, but what direction you get now doesn't mean exactly means what you have done in the past. What we have now is past action plus something else.
Yeah.
Yes? So what we should do now is acknowledge we have done something wrong
Yeah.
and try to improve it, don't do it again, and that's it.
Yeah, it is a correct perspective. We might have done our sanity in the past, right? And we will have the result of it. So just trying to blame, right?
We cannot blame it. It's just
Yeah,
that
cannot blame
we
it. We
cannot
have
say
to-
it's negative.
Yeah. So
We
we have to be active, right?
Yeah.
We have to do wholesome things in the current moment, right? So in that way, so that will be a correct perspective, right? Any question? Okay, so let's go. So I think that's all. Actually, not much time to talk about karma, right? Because we have to finish this topic, right? We are talking about Sila, morality. So of course, the Sila and Kamma are linking, right? Linking. So, okay, let's go to next one. Criteria of a Buddhist. So if you want to say you are a Buddhist, so these are the criteria, right? These are the criteria. Mahanama Sutta in Goda Nikaya, chapter 8, Sutta number 25. Mahanama is cousin of the Buddha, right? Elder brother of Venerable Anuruddha. And he was the Buddha said that he is the former lay follower, among the lay followers who give what is excellent, right? Who give one of the four, how to say, the famous disciple of the Buddha. Lay follower, right? Lay follower. He normally come to monasteries and he have a lot of conversation with the Buddha as well as disciples of the Buddha. So this is one of the Sutta. So he asked the Buddha, in what way Bhante is one a lay follower? In what way, right? So that means what the criteria to become a Buddhist, right? To become a Buddhist. Very simple. When Mahanama, one has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the Dhamma and Sangha, in that way, one is a lay follower. That means if you take refuge to the Triple, you are a Buddhist, right? If you don't believe in the Buddha, if you don't believe in the Dhamma, if you don't believe the Sangha, here Sangha means an enlightened people, right? Just like a Sotapanna, etc., right? Four Ariya Sangha. Four Ariya Sangha. So if you believe in the Triple, so you can be called a Buddhist, right? Sometimes we have a lot of doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, right? If you have a doubt, you are not a Buddhist, right? You are not a Buddhist. So you have to take refuge, right? Go for the refuge to the Triple. So then only you are a Buddhist, right? I think you don't need to recite something, right? So, of course, traditionally, we normally say that for those who want to become a Buddhist, so they have to recite, right? Buddhaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saranam gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saranam gacchāmi, right? Actually, that is if you just chanting with your mouth, right? Actually, if you don't believe in the Triple, you are not a Buddhist, right? You are not a Buddhist. So I think that is very simple. But only we become Sotapanna, we will be very a true Buddhist, I think, right? For those who become Sotapanna, a very unwavering faith, right? In the Triple, then only a true Buddhist. Normally, as a normal Buddhist, our faith is not strong, right? Sometimes wavering, right? Shaking. So this is a criteria of Buddhist, very simple. Another one, criteria of virtuous person. In what way Bhante is a lay follower virtuous, right? In what way one became virtuous person? And the Buddha said that when Mahanama, a lay follower, abstain from distraction of life, number one, killing, right? Killing. Number two, taking what is not given. Number three, abstaining from sexual misconduct. Number four, abstaining from false speech. And number five, abstaining from liquor, wine, intoxicants, the base for heedlessness. So in that way, a lay follower is virtuous, right? Virtuous. If you are telling lie, you are not virtuous person. If you are drinking, not virtuous person. It's a 5 precept, right? 5 precept. So the Buddha, actually, if you look at this Sutta, it's very clear. So if you keep 5 precepts, you are virtuous person, right? Whether you are woman or man, whether you are lay person or a monk or a nun, right? So for those who have those qualities, 5 qualities, it's called virtuous person. That's nothing but 5 precepts, right? 5 precepts. Another soda deposited in hell. The Buddha said that if someone possesses 5 qualities, so he or she will be deposited in hell, right? As if brought there. Then somebody bring you to the hell, right? Just like this. So if you have those 5 qualities, then you will go to hell, right? Number 1, destroying life. Number 2, taking what is not given. Number 3, engaging in sexual misconduct. Number 4, speaking falsely. Number 5, indulging in liquor, wine, intoxicants, the base for heedlessness. 5 precepts, right? 5 precepts. If you are breaking 5 precepts, then you have to go to hell, right? Not only hell, maybe 4 awful planes, right? 4 awful planes. If you take this soda alone, right, you will have a misunderstanding regarding with the result of Kamma. That means if you are drinking, you will go to hell. It's not truth, right? It's not true. There are so many dimensions we have to look at, right? If you're telling lie, according to this soda, go to hell. So this soda is not, how to say, just learning this soda is not enough, right? So we have to look at from different perspective, different dimension, right? So what the Buddha want to highlight here is, if you are breaking 5 precepts, you might go to hell, right? Majjhima Nikaya, soda number 136, right? In that soda, so the Buddha said, even though you have done such unwholesome actions, you might go to heaven, right? Because you have done some good deed. So those good deeds will give rise, right? The rebirth in heaven. So we have to look at different dimensions, right? Another one, deposit in heaven. If you have these 5 qualities, another 5 qualities, then you will go to heaven. That means abstaining from killing, telling lies, stealing, sexual misconduct, and liquor, right? Intoxicants. So these are 5 precepts, right? Okay. Sorry?
We eat meat, right?
Yeah.
We take fish, we eat meat, we eat chicken.
Yeah.
So does it classify under killing also?
Not classified under killing. So we have 3 conditions. Actually, we have learned in earlier lessons. 3 conditions.
With intention?
No.
The
3 conditions mean we can eat meat if you think that meat is not
cooked for you.
Not prepared for you, right? If you think that, if you didn't suspect, if you didn't see, right? If you did not hear, if you do not suspect, did not see, did not hear, did not suspect that meat is especially prepared for you, you can eat it, right? So that means in the restaurants, it is not prepared for you, right? You can eat it. But of course, in the, in Theravada, eating meat, your own choice, right? Your own choice. You can eat it or you cannot, you can abstain from it. It is up to you. But, so the Buddha taught to the monks, if you do not see, if you do not hear, if you do not suspect that the meat is especially for you, you can eat it, right?
So if you go to a market, we buy the cockles and we choose the crab, which is live, right? That means it's...
Yeah, of course, it's killing,
Correct.
right? Because you kill it. Intentionally kill it. Sorry? You use this.
What if my friend picks the crab and I'm not the one?
Actually, your friend, right? Especially, you know that, right? You know that. 3, right? Not only suspect, you know that, right? You know that. I think it's very, what the Buddha want to emphasize. Normally, the Buddha is not extremes. In the first Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first sermon, the Buddha suggested not to go extremes, right? Indulging in sensual pleasures, and also engaging in self-mortification, right? So the Buddha normally go the middle way, right? Middle way. But of course, even though you are not eating meat, if you are, as I always said, that if you are cooking rice, so there are a lot of insects in the rice, you are killing, right? You are killing. So actually, so there are many, how to say, even though we are not eating meat, right? We are killing sentient beings, right? One way or another, right? One way or another. But of course, if you are sincerely not taking meat, of course it's good, right? So as Keshari Dhammananda said that, don't blame the people who are eating meat, right? Don't blame, right? So the Buddha normally go the middle way, right? Middle way. Okay, so these are 5 precepts, right? Another one from Dhammabra, digging up one's own root. The Buddha said that he who destroys life, tell lies, take what is not given, commit adultery, and addicted to intoxicating drinks, dig at his own root, even in this very life, right? Here, what I want to highlight is 5 precepts, very important, right? Very important. You can see it in many places, right? You can see it many places. Today we are learning 5 precepts, right? 5 precepts. Panchasila in Pali. 5 precepts is the universal law that everyone in the world should follow or must follow for the welfare of all living beings, right? So we have a lot of fighting, a lot of war, right? Because people are breaking 5 precepts, right? If everyone follow 5 precepts, there will be no fighting at all, right? No fighting at all. So our property will be safe, right? Our family life will be safe. I did 5 precepts, universal law. But of course, some differences between one religion and another, right? One religion and another. Regarding with the killing, right? Buddhism, no excuse, right? No bargain. Killing is killing, right? But in some religions, if you are killing, right? If you are killing your enemy, it's just justifiable, right? It's all right to kill your enemies, right? It's all right to protect yourself, right? Under the protection. In Buddhism, even to protect, right, yourself, if you kill, killing. There are differences, right? Differences between one religion to another, but they still have 5 precepts, right? So you are not allowed to commit sexual misconduct, right? Every religion lay down that rules, right? Stealing, right? Not supposed to steal, right? So they prohibit. Drinking alcohol, the same thing, right? But of course, some religion they promote drinking, but actually only some, right? Universal law. What I want to point out is, right? The society that breaks Panchasila will encounter social deprivations. The Middle East, a lot of killing, right? A lot of killing, a lot of problems, right? A lot of problems. Singapore, very lucky, right? Very lucky. No killing, no stealing, right? Your property is safe, right? Safe. I don't know, such a misconduct. There might be some, right? There might be some. But of course, if there are so many people who are committing sexual misconduct, family life will be not safe, right? Dangerous, not good, right? Not good. Drinking, right? No excuse, right? But of course, if you are using alcohol for medicine, it's good, right? It's stay okay. Stay okay. Telling lie, no, not allowed, right? Not allowed. So if society is breaking Panchasila, we encounter social deprivations, right? Number one, taking life. If you refrain from taking life, you will have security of life. Here in Singapore, very lucky, we have security of life, right? We don't need to be afraid to go out. There will be no one to kill you, right? The law and order is secure. For that reason, taking life, very important. Number two, taking what is not given. If there's no one who do not steal, so you have security of property, right? You don't need to worry about your property. So there are some countries in the Europe, no door, right? The door is open. Even the United States, there's no fence, right? There's no fence. Because of the people are not taking what is not given, right? Security of property. Number three, engaging in sexual misconduct. If people are refraining from this one, they will have security of family life, right? If you are living nearby someone who is committing sexual misconduct, your family life will not be safe, right? Very dangerous. You have to worry about that. Number four, speaking falsely. Security of fame, right? If you are always telling lie, people will not believe you. No fame, right? No reputation. Taking intoxicants, security of health or security of clarity of the mind. If you're drinking, you will lose your consciousness, right? So you will lose your clarity of mind. So all these are very important, right? All the religions, they will lay down those rules, right? But of course, there may be different definition of those ones, right? Different definition of those ones. Question? Okay. 2 question answer.
Bhante, just to share personal experience regarding the suttas.
Okay.
When one reads sutta, one should not read in isolation. That's to say that that particular sutta itself.
Sorry?
When one reading the suttas,
Yeah.
you should not read a sutta in isolation. That is to say that you base the interpretation only on one sutta itself.
Yeah.
For instance, like now, the lady were talking about the karma become very negative and all that, so say. But the thing is, you have to read the sutta in conjunction with other suttas.
Connecting with other
Yes,
suttas.
correct. That will give a clearer picture. Now, reading sutta itself is just like looking at the jigsaw puzzle. You get one piece, two pieces, you will not get a complete picture. You have to add in more until in such a way that it will give you some image of that. So that is why in this Tipitaka itself, we have 11,000 suttas itself.
Yeah.
So when Buddha preached anything, he will preach according to the temperament of the audience. So a same sutta may preach in different manner and according to their understanding. So if you happen to pick one sutta and read it and interpret alone by itself, that's very dangerous. That also happened in law itself. There are statutes being passed, you don't read the section of law in isolation. A lot of them read in conjunction and commitment to the law to give a complete picture.
Yeah.
So what the suttas you mentioned, the lady has the impression that become very negative. The sutta itself is not complete. You have to read in conjunction with many other suttas to get a clear picture.
Yeah, actually, of course, what she said also very true. The reason is I don't have much time to explain the meaning of Kamma, right? Actually, for those who are learning for 1 or 2 years, so they already understand what is Kamma, what is the result of Kamma. But I mean, she came in a later part, right? So what I mean is, of course, what she here right now is, of course, not complete. For that reason, I said that no time to talk about Kamma, right? Actually, here what I want to what I mean talking is the morality Sila. So the topic about Kamma is just a secondary topic, right? So now what we are talking is the morality, right? Maybe in future, maybe I will talk about the full course about Kamma, right? Kamma.
Bhante,
Okay, when you say something, okay.
Looking at the 5 precepts, the
Okay.
3rd precepts, because I went to listen to one of the forest monk
Okay.
from Thailand. He came and he was talking about during the meditation in the forest, right? A lot of these ghostly rhyme people who came to him, and a lot of them violate the 3rd precept of sexual misconduct. And he was telling us in the audience, he says the private part becomes so big and full of maggots.
Yeah.
So it's quite terrifying. So
Mm.
I would like to know, for paid sexual misconduct, right? Is that considered as misconduct for those guys? Let's say you go to a prostitute and he paid to have sex. Does that violate the 3rd precept?
Actually, I want you encouraged to listen previous recording because I have explained regarding with the sexual misconduct in my previous lessons. And then if you go recording, and then you will see it. I have to write down the contents of the recording, right? So we have already explained in the previous recording. So I'm sorry that I don't want to repeat. Another one is we don't have not enough time here, so we have talked about it in the earlier lessons. You can listen the recording, okay?
Okay.
Question? Question, okay.
Bhante, I have a question. Just now you mentioned about a sutta that talks about why someone is beautiful in this life, why someone is ugly in this life. So I just want to know whether in the Pali Canon is there any sutta that talks about desire? By desire I mean a wider definition of desire about anything. Maybe your desire for getting something, money, or desire for some aspiration or some goal in life that you cannot achieve. Is there any sutta that we can refer to on desire?
Actually, we have a lot of sutta that talk about desires. Desire and craving are closely connected, right? If we talk about based on Abhidhamma, desire can be good and bad, right? Good and bad. You have a good desire, a bad desire, right? Bad desire. There are many sutta, of course, that talk about desire, right? Regarding with the greed, according to Abhidhamma, greed is just unwholesome, right? Unwholesome, not wholesome one. Craving. I think desire will be. I will explain desire when we are talking about dependent originations. Dependent origination. When we are talking
next
about
year?
Yeah, next year.
Okay.
And also when we are talking about nibbana. So I will touch on that. So even desire to attain nibbana have to be abandoned like this. So I will explain. So when we are learning about nibbana, so I think that for those emotional aspects, learning Abhidhamma is very important, right? So for those who have learned Abhidhamma, you will understand those emotional mental actions clearer. But of course, next year we'll learn that.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, so last question? The last question? No. Okay. So I think time is up. Thank you for coming. We have another 2 more weeks. Huh? Yo aratam bhavaro manu jesu sakya muni bhagavata kecho paragato bala vidiya samangi Tam sukatam saranathamupemi ragavi ragamaninjamasokam dhammamasangatamapatikula marurami mampaguna suvipata dhammamimam saranathamupemi yathacha nama apalamahu Susi supuri sayugesu atacha bogala dhammadasati sangamimam saranathamupemi. Sadhu. Good night, everyone.